Tell me a little bit more about how you think about the sort of like out there type content and playbooks when it comes to some of the clients you're working with now, right? So when you work with a new customer, like are you thinking just like crazy new ideas, or are you thinking more about, okay, how do I just tell their story and how do I figure out like what are the different levels of problem awareness that we can talk about?
Yeah, the most important way to think of it, and if any of you listening may know sort of my partner, Daniel Murray, or some of the media arms behind us, the marketing millennials, the biggest thing that marketers can find power in is storytelling. And stories tend to connect to what we like really feel deeply, like the social and emotional pains. One of the best things you can do with organic content is not just talk about the how to, right? It's like the how I stories. And what we found is the way that we work in like a really compressed way is we'll take a business and we'll say, hey, like, what's your goal right now? What are you trying to do? We understand not just like the mechanics of their ideal customer profile, their go-to-market motion, their like position in the category, but we then start to think of like, what's the one thing you want to be known for? We often call like the hill that you, if it's an executive or a company, would die on, like the one thing you want to be remembered for. From there, we'll kind of set what we call like the mantra or the pillar behind the business, like the one founding idea. For me, mine is B2B shouldn't be boring. And I think people conflate serious, that B2B needs to be serious. But the most effective content in my career has been humorous, it's been emotional, it's been playful, right? And it's helped me grow multiple seven-figure businesses behind it, right? But people often conflate like B2B and serious. So like that's the hill that I would die on. From that, we build kind of three supporting pillars around that in a content matrix with about 15 different types of content across each of those sub pillars. And the goal of those is essentially we match the emotional journey and your customer journey and the different stages that your potential buyers are going through against those pillars to make sure that we're hitting the key points in the story. And the reason is only 3% of B2B people in market are actually ready to buy. 97% of your audience are not ready to buy. Your goal with content is not to get leads. Your goal is to build affinity and trust. So when those 97% are ready, you are there and they think of you first. So a big part of what we do with storytelling, with content, with humor, with how I is kind of reverse engineer that process and build content such that you can get on people's radar, connect with them, and have them see you as the authority. But the key thing, and the reason why this is our tagline, to become an authority, you first need attention. The biggest things that companies get wrong, especially in B2B, is they create content that's about them and their product. It's company first content, as opposed to thinking about the audience and what problems that they actually have. So we help reverse engineer that to where you get attention in your niche. We tell you, and show you how to tell stories that connect to people in that journey to reach that 97%. And we do this in a way that's going to let you grow in really like a sustainable fashion where you're just talking about like your experience and the problems, but you're doing it in a way that has what we call channel content fit. If you just take a clip, like a clip of this podcast and upload it to TikTok and maybe throw it into like Submagic and do something with it, it's probably going to die on the vine because you didn't design that clip for that channel. The same is true for LinkedIn, which is where we spend 100% of our focus. You need to design the content specifically for LinkedIn.